Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Set Streets and Eats. I'm Chris Bauer. I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Behind me is the Golden Driller. He's a very popular local place to stop, but also outside of local, he's not far from old Route 66. So a lot of people doing the Route 66 would like to come by the Golden Driller. He was built back in the 1950s. He's been in a few different places around Tulsa. I am actually on my way up to San Diego, California. My last drive-in talk a week ago, asked a few of you guys if you'd like to see some old Route 66 on this trip, and several of you said absolutely. So I thought, let's start here in Tulsa, and it's 21 hours to San Diego. It's just a short 21-hour drive. I need to be there probably tomorrow afternoon. Right now it's Tuesday morning. I think it's the 23rd, November 23rd, and so I gotta be there by tomorrow and set up at the show. They're not open on Thanksgiving, San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition, so I have to get set up on Wednesday afternoon. So I do have a time clock kind of working against me here, but I think it still allows us enough time to jump off and see a few of the really cool things along old Route 66 that that I've seen. Some of them I've seen, some of them I haven't. I'm going to see for the first time, and I hope you guys come along with me for the next 21 hours. Let's travel.
I'm Chris Bauer, and I am an art slinger. I travel around the U.S. selling artwork at comic and anime conventions, and while I'm there, I like to check out cool sites, eat great food, and see all the places my favorite movies and TV shows are made. Welcome to Sets, Streets, and Eats.
So right on Route 66, right in the heart of Tulsa, is Buck's Novelty. Right by the metal gold sign there. It's been there for many, many years. Anyway, this place is called Buck's. It is a gift shop, basically, for Route 66 collectibles as you're going through Tulsa. This little neighborhood that it's on, the couple blocks that it's on, clearly really embraces it. Even the new places have old vintage looking signage. But it's just kind of a place of oddities where you can get different things. But it's called Bucks on 66 Cosmic Curios. And a little gift shop. It's not open right now, but it's kind of right as you're on old Route 66 going right through Tulsa. Tulsa is a real important stop on Route 66 because the creator of Route 66, the architect, so to speak, actually is from Tulsa. So it was definitely a big deal for Tulsa to have a large section of Route 66. But there's lots of little places right around here in this neighborhood as well that just has a lot of really cool stuff around it, and definitely a cool stop on your way touring old Route 66 that you just can't miss. So what is Route 66? I'm sure you've heard of it before. It's usually discussed in a subject of nostalgia or reminiscence. Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe. You'll see a lot of gaudy tourist traps will have like a wall hanging with those three elements on it. And the reason for that is it is a source of nostalgia and great affection in American history during the 20th century. Back in the turn of the 20th century, we had been riding horses, and using horse and train travel was basically what built America. And of course the automobile hit, and was just a massive invention that everyone had to have. And quickly all these old horse paths and cart paths that used to connect little towns and farms were quickly torn up by cars. Cars were quite hard on those, just like they are on roads today. So paving roads became the future. And planning these roads became a big business. And because if you could plan a road that ran a long way and have businesses on it, you're bringing traffic right to your business. So 1926, America's Highway, or Route 66, it's also was called the Will Rogers Highway, or the Mother Road. It's been called a lot of things, but it opened in 1926, or it was established in 1926. It ran from Chicago, Illinois, all the way to Santa Monica, California. Even today at the Santa Monica Pier, there's a sign that you can pose under that says the end of Route 66. It ran for it was over 2,400 miles. I don't think it was more than 2,500, but it's something like 2,440 some miles from Chicago to Santa Monica. It would run, did. It ran from Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And it really got big in the 1930s during the Dust Bowl migration in America. People were suffering through the Great Depression and moving out west and coming down to find work in Oklahoma and Texas and all those. And Route 66 just became the way they took and the way everyone took. And there was very few interstate highways like that. So it really held that nostalgia or that importance to Americans for decades, many decades. Songs have been written about it. Movies and TV shows have dealt with it or been around it. And it became just a great piece of American history. And all the way up until the 1980s, I think 1985 was when Interstate 40 was established. Interstate 40 ran from coast to coast, and it used large sections of Route 66 in its finished product, I guess. So large sections of the road became part of the interstate, and then a lot of the sections that would run through those little towns that had become so prosperous during the previous many decades, that parts of the Interstate 40 were rerouted around those, and it made them dry up and die. I'm sure if you've seen the Pixar movie Cars, totally deals with this, where little towns that used to thrive no longer could get anyone to even stop in them because they would just get routed around. So that was a big change in America, and Route 66 was a huge victim of that. But today there are still many sections of the old road that are still around. You can pull off, and people over the past few decades have repurposed or restored some of the old roadside attractions that people used to enjoy on Route 66. So some of the old diners are still open, and some of the old things to see are still around, statues, markers, things like that. Curiosity shops, little things like that. And you can still, drive sections of the road all the way out to California and still see it today. So I know I've always had a huge fondness for it, and we've stopped at places over the years. I'm really excited to see a few of the places today that I haven't got to see yet. So right outside of Amarillo, Texas, there is this one called the Bug Ranch, which is a whole bunch of VW bugs half buried. On the other side of Amarillo, that I'll show you, there's another place called the Cadillac Ranch, which is a bit more famous. But basically, they're just cars dug in the sand, and you're encouraged to come out and spray paint them. Add your mark, add your signature, whatever you want to do. And these are a couple of the more modern attractions on Route 66 that used to be other places, used to be gas stations, used to be things like that, or diners that just aren't around anymore. But this is how they exist today. It's pretty crazy. So right on the other side of Amarillo from the Bug Ranch is the Cadillac Ranch. Out in the middle of a cornfield, you gotta walk out to it. But bring your spray paint, because there's a whole bunch of Cadillacs in the wind waiting for you to tag them. Look how much spray paint is on this thing. Literally built up. It's crazy. It's fun. Sorry about the wind. It is, well, you're out in the middle of a Texas field, so you kind of expect the wind. It's a thing. Anyway, this one's right off Interstate 40. This is a section of Route 66 that became a part of the interstate. And there's stuff on either side of it, kind of kitschy tourist stuff. There's the Big Texan, which we just passed, where you can go in and try the 72-ounce steak challenge, which if you finish it, you get it for free. I've not done it, just full disclosure. But I'm not gonna say I wouldn't. That's maybe a future stop someday. We're cruising right along, making pretty decent time. We're still about, I don't know, 1,100 miles away from San Diego. Probably still 15, 16 hours. But it's only a little after 1 on Tuesday, and I'm just about to cross over into New Mexico. So we're finishing the last few miles of Texas here, and then hopefully I'll get across New Mexico. It'll be after dark before I can get across Mexico and into Arizona. So then that feels like the longest part of the trip is Arizona and California. It's just desert, and it goes on and on and on. But it's been a beautiful day so far. Well, I'm on the old Route 66 and there was no sign, but we just crossed over into New Mexico. I thought there'd be an old sign, but it's a pretty much abandoned part of the highway. And it's now turned to dirt. Made it to Albuquerque. We're probably still about 12 hours away from San Diego, but still made pretty good time today, even with stops. So that casino was used in the movie Come Hell or High Water, starring Jeff Bridges. He was nominated for an Oscar for it. Starred Chris Pine, and I am blanking on the other actor in it, but phenomenal film. Absolutely adore that movie. But it was set, I believe, in Oklahoma. That they said that the casino was, but it's actually just outside of Albuquerque, right on Interstate 40 on Old Route 66, right off the highway. And they filmed at that casino. It's kind of pivotal to the plot of the movie. But definitely highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. Well, it is late. I made it to Flagstaff, Arizona. We're about 7.5 hours away from San Diego, so I'm going to get some shut-eye and we're going to continue this tomorrow. Good morning. So I typed in the exact address of the convention center in San Diego, and it did give me another route option that I'm actually going to take, and that's going to take me off Interstate 40. So I started my journey this morning here in Flagstaff, but no more Route 66, so this is where I will end the video and head to San Diego. I've only got just over 7 hours left, and I'll be going south down through Phoenix and then straight west along the Mexico border and come on to San Diego underneath, just because the other way would be obviously taking 40 all the way into the LA basin and then having to come south through LA down to San Diego, and getting there in the afternoon, I would hit probably major traffic, possibly worse holiday traffic. Today is the day before Thanksgiving, so I'd rather take the southerly route and get me there in a timely fashion, which I'm sure you can understand. But I do appreciate you guys watching this. See you later. Bye now.